Good evening. I'm Nicholas Perez, Cluster Director and former Principal of Pathways in Education Chicago. And on behalf of the Governing Board, Administration, and staff, I would like to welcome you to the Class of 2020 virtual graduation ceremony. Though we are faced with unprecedented times and are unable to celebrate in the manner we're accustomed to, we want to do our best to acknowledge the hard work and sacrifice that it takes to make it to this momentous occasion and congratulate our graduates on their significant achievement. I'm especially proud of the Class of 2020. You have overcome so many obstacles, shown resilience in the face of adversity, and demonstrated true commitment towards growth and development for your next chapter. Please enjoy this video of memories of your time at Pathways.
My old school was very big, very crowded.
Didn't make me feel as welcoming. As soon as I gave up, the teachers gave up.
Very disorganized. The kids' education wasn't first, it came second next to disciplinary action.
Honestly, it didn't make me feel like I was really needed in that.
I wasn't acknowledged, and my work ethic wasn't acknowledged, my presence wasn't acknowledged. So I just felt lonely and hopeless, helpless, and defenseless. That's how I felt.
Pathways is different from any high school out there.
Made me more independent and made me take more responsibility for my education.
Giving me that independence by giving me the tools, and it was up to me.
Being at Pathways, knowing that the environment I'm in, knowing I could ask anybody for help, knowing I could ask somebody for something without having, to worry about their response. Pathways did prepare me a lot.
They make you feel welcome from just the orientation.
My favorite day and my favorite memory would be the day that I finished all my classes and that they rang the bell. I had been doing so much and trying my hardest to finish all my classes, and when it happened, it was a surreal moment, I would say.
My favorite day at Pathways is when we went to the Science Museum. It was a cool experience. I loved it. Everyone that went was really cool.
My favorite day at Pathways in Education was the day I went to Coin College with my counselor and a few other students at Pathways. The reason why going to that field trip was very, very important, I actually felt a connection. I felt that I could do something.
My dream for the future is graduate college and be a physical therapist. That's always been a dream of mine.
My dream for the future is, one, to be successful, as everyone else wants to be. My dream is to be an electrician. I do want to be a licensed electrician. I still want to go to Coin College. I still want to do a lot of things in life.
My dream is to have a high-paying job that has to do with computer science, computer engineering.
I want to go to college and have a college degree. I still haven't decided yet, but I for sure want to have at least an associate's in something. I was thinking more business.
I do want to be someone that gives back to my community in the most positive way as possible, especially with all the stuff that's going on.
I would like to say, life is not a race. Things will come and go. Things will get tricky in life. Things are going to get tricky in life. But it is very, very important that you keep one foot in this world.
We made it through it all, and I want to say that it wasn't easy for most of us, but I just wanted to say that we made it and that I am very proud of each and one of you that made it.
Enjoy all those moments, enjoy every assignment, enjoy every test you have to take, even if it's really hard, because that's the last time that you're gonna have to do it.
My fellow graduates, you made it. I mean, I'm not gonna tell you the hard part is over, because it's not. It's just started. But high school is really hard for a lot of people, and you're one of the people to make it. It's exciting. We made it. Congratulations.
would like to continue the evening by honoring the men and women serving to protect our country. Please rise for the national anthem. We would also like to acknowledge our dedicated staff. The secret to the success of our schools is that students learn from people they love. Would all Pathways in Education teaching, administrative, and corporate staff please pat yourselves on the back for the care and commitment you bring to work each day. Finally, we would like to recognize our most distinguished viewers. Without the support and guidance of these people, many of our students would not have reached this significant milestone. Parents and guardians of our graduates, please give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Thomas Nichols, principal of Pi, Illinois, and as an administrator, it is truly exciting to see students achieving goals they set for themselves. We are privileged to be associated with students who represent the spirit of Pathways in Education. These students represent the courage to dream and set goals, the passion to pursue them, and the determination to overcome obstacles to achieve them. This year is no different. It is with great pleasure that I introduce our first graduation speaker this evening, Evelyn Cruz. Her teacher, Christine, says that Evelyn has been a great leader of her class and an awesome representation of a Pathway student. She is giving and caring. She has faced many hardships and personal obstacles, but she did not let them get the best of her. She is courageous and brave, her work ethic impeccable, but most of all, her spirit and kindness is cherished at our school, as it will be wherever her future may take her. Please join me in welcoming Evelyn Cruz.
Hello, class of 2020. First, I would like to say congratulations to you all. Some might not know me at all, so here's a little bit about me. I've always felt like an outcast. I was always and still am quiet and shy. I wouldn't talk to anyone. I would be by myself. Life wasn't easy for me, as I'm sure it wasn't easy for some of you. I had to grow up at a young age. My mom was always in the hospital with my brother. My stepdad and my uncle were working, so I had to learn how to look out for myself. I didn't really get a chance to enjoy my childhood years. I moved to Mexico at a young age, but my mom decided to come back to the US. My grandma and grandpa looked out for me. I was a happy child. I was busy playing outside in the mud or playing with the other kids that lived around where I lived and going to school. That all changed, and not for the better. At the age of 4, I was sexually abused by friends my grandparents knew. After 9 months, this came to an end. I came back to live with my mom. Did I tell her? No. Did I tell anybody? No. I lived with it. You think after that, life can't get any worse. Well, it can. I found out I had a baby brother with a rare illness. I really don't remember what it was called. He was in the hospital always, and when he was home, after a day he had to go back. My mom had to be with him. My stepdad had to be working, and my uncle worked as well. I had to learn how to take care of myself, and I had to grow up. I didn't have a choice. I had the chance to see my brother once, and I remember this as if it was just yesterday. He was in his bed, tubes everywhere on his tiny body, his chest with stitches. The doctor said he would be fine. He wasn't. At the age of 2, he passed away. I was 6 years old when I lost him. At his funeral, I didn't cry, but I heard my mom crying. I went back to school like nothing had happened. Now you think life would be better for me, right? Well, no. When I was entering 3rd grade, we had moved to Juliet. I was the only Mexican American kid going to the school. My English was not that good still. Kids would make fun of me, throw things at me, and well, I thought it was normal because I was the new kid. They had seen my mom at the report card pickup, and they would make fun of me for that too. For my skin, for her skin. I finished 3rd grade there, and we moved back to live in Chicago. The bullying didn't stop there. Still nobody knew. A smile and a few laughs can hide a lot, you know? The bullying continued throughout high school. I would miss a lot of school my freshman year. I just didn't have the motivation. My grades were dropping terribly, and it came to a point where I wouldn't get out of bed. I would barely even eat. I would isolate myself. I saw no way out. I became extremely depressed. I would take it out on myself. I stopped going to school completely, which caused me to miss my whole freshman year. School and life were pointless to me. I had to start going to therapy at a hospital for a while, and that's where I started to see that this wasn't me. I was letting the depression win, and it was drowning me. I knew I shouldn't do this to myself, most importantly, my mom. My therapist told me about schools like Pathways and how it would be good for me to at least start fresh there. I decided to give it a try. At first, it wasn't easy. I didn't want to be around anyone. I kept doubting myself. One person who would try and make conversation was Alberto, but I would just wave at him whenever he said hi and I would instantly leave. I wouldn't really say a word to him. I want to thank him a lot though. He was there for me when I was not having a great day, or he would help me get my life together when I needed it. In some ways, I see him as kind of like an older brother. He helped me a lot by gaining confidence in myself and gaining confidence in the work that I would do. I look up to him a lot as well. Christine, Shelby, Sam, Matt, Patrick, Nadia, Cassandra, Maura, Dario, and Lauren are also people I appreciate a lot. They saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. They made my days at Pathways really memorable, and they are the people that I know I will never forget. They had to deal with the amount of work I put in every day or every week. I think it kind of annoyed some of them, but not in a bad way, you know? I really can't choose who had more of an impact on me because they all helped me and supported me and helped me gain confidence in what I would do. I had made a family there. I met amazing people. Pathways gave me plenty of opportunities that not many schools can give to their students. They provided us with trips. I was able to go to Blackbird Farm in California and Washington, D.C. On the farm, I conquered my fear of heights. I got out of my shell and actually talked to people and shared my ideas and worked in groups instead of by myself. In DC, I saw the monuments and what the veterans have fought for and keep fighting for, and what the people will continue to fight for. I started challenging myself a lot more, and I started to believe in myself as well. Pathways is part of how I prove to myself that I can do it, how I'm capable enough to finish something I have started. Sadly, my days there were coming to a close. I started school at Pathways on September 18th, 2017, and graduated September 27th, 2019. I started as a freshman with a few credits, and in the blink of an eye, I was a senior. I am the first to graduate high school and will be the first to go to college. There are three people I would like to thank the most: my mom, my stepdad, and my uncle. When I was falling, they would pick me right back up, pushing me to do good, to keep moving forward no matter what got in the way. They believed and believed in me even when I stopped believing in myself. They pushed and still keep pushing for me to live the life they came here for me to live. I am their voice and will forever proudly be their voice. Thanks to them, I'm here, I'm alive, and I didn't quit. Now I'm so much better. I'm getting to the point where I'm happy. I stumble back sometimes, but then I get myself back up on track. I'm working, saving up for college. Hopefully this fall I will get into a college, a university to study nursing or psychology. I want to help people. I want to give. I know it won't be easy, but it's never impossible. I know I will fall, but guess who will pick herself back up again? Me. have done it 1,000 times before, and I know I can do it 1,000 times more. I will get my degree. I can, and I will. I know you all can too. I know you all will keep fighting. I know you all will pick yourselves back up, no matter how many times you fall. It won't be a perfect road, but we can start seeing it as perfect because it's our road and it's the masterpiece we're all working on. We will all move on to the next chapter of our lives and become the amazing people our teachers at Pathways have seen in us since we first walked through the doors. Congratulations, class of 2020.
Thank you, Evelyn. Our second student speaker this evening is Dean Johnson. His teacher, Kareem, says that when I think of Dean Johnson, the image of him having a passionate conversation with other staff members or myself comes to mind. He could be discussing an apex question with Ellie or Diana, then talking about the concept of God and Hinduism with Monica, listing all the positive legacies of the Mongol Empire with me, or discussing the best sleep position with friends, all in one session. He has an inquisitive mind that I am envious of. I hope he keeps growing and exploring his world around him. Please welcome Dean Johnson.
First, I'd like to thank the staff for allowing me the opportunity to speak here today. Thank you, staff. My name is Dean Johnson. I'm 18 years old, and I attended the Pathways Avondale campus for about 2 years. This is a special place for special people who don't fit into the regimen of a traditional school, and it is indeed a pathway in the maze of education, and if not for this path offered to us graduating today, it is uncertain if we would be heading on to greater things, whether it be learning a trade, entering the workforce, or entering college. For this, the staff deserves a thanks, not just from me, but all of us students and our families. Not only for this, but for never giving up on us, continuing to work to help us through the variety of obstacles we've encountered. And from this, I've learned that persistence will be rewarded. I've recently been in contact with counselors from the City Colleges of Chicago and counselors from my former high school, so I'm speaking from experience when I say the support provided by Minta and Brandon is far beyond what others are capable of offering. I myself only found out about the STAR Scholarship because of their diligence and was guided through the student aid process by them. I would also like to thank Miles for providing many opportunities to all of us, which we should all be thankful for. Whether they be disciplinary or educational, for many schools do not wish to put up with the problems we as students bring to school. I had left my previous high school because they believed all problems were service level, when in fact most have a deeper reasoning behind them, which Miles took the time to find out. Kareem the Dreamer truly lives up to his nickname in that he allows us to dream about what we will achieve in the future and aids us in any way he can. He helped me explore all types of topics and would often share interesting and relevant information, from current events in Iran to the history of the world. I mention these staff in particular, for they played an integral part in my personal success in the school. But it goes without saying, each and every one of the people who worked at the Avondale campus were massive influences on my life. In a good way, of course. One thing I can say was shared by all staff members was understanding of backgrounds and stimuli affecting the performance and livelihood of the students. I consider myself to come from a unique background, yet they knew how to deal with me and help me succeed. Not only the staff, but the many friends I had made in the school helped me succeed as I did to them. If it weren't for all the peers I had there who welcomed me and enjoyed my presence, at times, then I am unsure if I would have been able to graduate when I did. In addition to the friends who helped me, the ability to work at my own pace greatly aided in my completion of high school. In traditional high school, I often felt that courses moved too fast or too slow, but in Pathways, I was able to spend extra time on a course if I needed to, while being able to breeze through another in a matter of days. If not the teachers and students, thank and appreciate the system that we were all a part of. While this graduation ceremony signifies our moving on to the future, let us not forget the past nor present events which shape who we are and how society does and will function. Currently, there is a massive problem which we as a society are working towards solving in a multitude of ways. This issue needs not to be named for us to know what it is, yet I shall address it. Widespread police brutality, which disproportionately affects minorities. This is an issue which has affected many in our school, and we will no longer take it sitting down. We as a graduating class must stand together against corruption in law enforcement while pushing the civility of civil unrest. This means to make diplomatic efforts, not equally violent ones. Thank you all for your time, and I wish the best unto my peers and the people who we all worked under.
Thank you, Dean. Our third student speaker this evening is Nelson Abarca. His teacher, Mike, says, "When I think of Nelson as a student, 3 words come to mind: hardworking, reliable, and personable." Nelson is excellent at balancing all his responsibilities in order to accomplish his goals because he has such a strong work ethic. As Nelson's teacher, I could not always rely on Nelson being at school every day, but I could always rely on him being there when he said he was going to be there. I could always rely on him being prepared, and I could count on work completed at the end of the learning period to keep him on track for graduation. But what really stands out about Nelson is his positive, respectful, and likable personality. These traits will help Nelson go far in life and accomplish anything he wants to accomplish. Please welcome Nelson Abarca.
My time at Pathways are going to be memorable, and there are many reasons for that. Every day I went into school, I learned something new. I learned new ways to talk to people in de-escalate situations by watching teachers respond swiftly. I developed better morals by listening to different students and teachers there as well. These are all things I wouldn't have learned if I had never went to Pathways. I know I wouldn't have learned these morals if I didn't make the mistakes that I made in the past. But maybe this was the path that I needed to take to find my way to where I needed to be. There's a quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson that says, "Treat a man as he is, and he will remain as he is. Treat a man as he could be, and he will become what he should be." This quote to me represents Pathways as a whole. The way you treat someone is crucial to their success and to their future. Treating someone with respect and generosity can impact them in so many ways one couldn't even imagine. It affects how they interact with others and how they think. Making someone feel positive about themselves can boost motivation, allowing the person to think smarter and harder than before. Acknowledging a student's work and giving them positive feedback can shape a person and change the way they view things. That is what happened to me. I was given the responsibilities, was treated like an adult, and I was expected to complete my task on my own. Before enrolling at Pathways in Education, I was a regular kid who went to a regular high school. In early October of 2017, a month and a half after my summer job closed, beginning of my junior year, my grades were steady at the time, but my life and overall health were anything but steady. My father had lost his job, leaving us with no one to buy food, pay rent, or go to the laundromat or buy any other essential needs. By the middle of November, we were 2 months behind on rent, and we faced the possibility of being thrown out if we weren't unable to pay. I also had a total of $400 worth of unpaid school fees that I needed to pay. That may not seem like a lot to people, but to 2 individuals who were completely unprepared for this type of financial situation, it was very overwhelming. My schoolwork also then started suffering at the time. I had already failed 2 classes my sophomore year and had no idea what to do at that point. Knowing I possibly won't have a roof over my head made me make a decision to help my dad and myself out of a life-threatening situation at the expense of my educational future. I looked for jobs, but I had a hard time looking for one. I mean, who was going to hire a 16-year-old with 3 months of work experience, and he was still in high school? But despite those odds, I found a few that would pay me cash, such as construction, maintenance, and bakeries. But I would need to work during school hours. I couldn't make my own perfect schedule, and I needed to make a decision quickly. It wasn't easy, but I made the decision and I progressed. Some days I would go to school during the day, and I would work during the night. Some days I would work during the day, and I would do schoolwork at night even when I was exhausted. Being at Pathways for the 2.5 years that I attended has been a great experience because I have learned more within that time frame than I did at my previous high school. And yes, it could be because I'm older now, but what if I never left the environment that I was in? Would I be where I am today? Would I be the person that I am today? I could answer that question in a heartbeat and say no. I would not be where I am today without the help and support of the Pathways staff, allowing me to go into school and go to work, allowing me to grow as an individual, allowing me to gain work experience many won't have before they turn 18, allowing me to build a bigger and better resume for my potential future, allowing me to build my character, and allowing me to understand how the real world works as a worker and as a student. I've seen the flexibility my teachers have had with me. They were very respectful towards my need to balance work, school, and life at the same time. It took a lot of courage and self-determination to get back to school. There was many times where I told myself that I was done with school and I was done with my education and I didn't want to continue. But then I had to tell myself that there was an opportunity for me to lift myself up and to prove something to those who looked down on me. So, I proved that I could do more than just continue my education, but continue my education, manage my life, and work at the same time. Without a doubt, it was exhausting. I did have a few close calls while attending Pathways. In the summer of 2018, I was on the drop list after missing a large amount of days without contacting my teacher. Unfortunately, I had thought my education had come to an end again. But thanks to my supportive teacher and staff, I got back on track. I felt regretful to know that I had disappointed a person that I had known for only a few months, but a person who's been trying to support me and trying to help me achieve all my goals, giving me positive feedback and allowing me to grow as an individual. So I immediately stepped up and got back on track only because my teacher gave me the opportunity to think about what I wanted to do with my education. Putting in the right full amount of work once classes got harder was a bit tricky, as some took longer than expected, but even then the support the Pathway staff offers is very resourceful and helpful. As Ralph Waldo Emerson said, treat a man as he is and he will remain as he is. Treat a man as he could be and he will become what he should be. The way one treats you and the way one respects you can build character and change one's behavior and attitude. Making decisions that aren't easy are part of a journey that we unexpectedly planned, and we are now taking that journey. Treat people the way you want to be treated, and treat yourself the way you know you should be treated. Allow change to happen, and expect ups and downs to occur on the way. I was treated like a man and became the person that I am today. I'm not a man, but one day I will be. With all the positive words from the staff at Pathways, I can genuinely say that I was treated the way I was supposed to in order to become the person that I am today. I will take these values with me on my unknown journey to my future. I have many goals that I want to accomplish in the months and years to come, and we will have to wait to see if those come to be. But today, I am accomplishing one of the many goals that I have on my to-do list, and that is to graduate with a high school diploma. I want everyone to look and think about what you did and tell yourself, I did it, because no one knows your story. No one knows how far you came to get to this very moment. I want to end my speech with a thank you to everyone that I've encountered. I'm glad I'm part of the Pathways in Education's class of 2020. I wouldn't want to have it any other way. Congratulations and thank you.
Thank you, Nelson. Our fourth student speaker this evening is Noah Siegel. His teacher, Kareem, says that Noah is this soft-spoken young man. I saw Noah's talent of doodling go from a simple pastime activity to a serious artist who carried around with himself a drawing pad. That was the creative side that he portrayed to everyone around him. But I was fortunate enough to see another side of Noah. I enjoyed reading the assignments he turned in. The words flowed like natural speech in his assignments. His writing talent was good enough to make any writer be envious of his talent. I can't wait to read his first book. Please welcome Noah Siegel.
So I'm going to start this off by saying that when I first got to Pathways, I wasn't thrilled. I was in my sophomore year and wanted nothing more than just to drop out. The only reason I couldn't was because my parents forced me to attend an alternative school. Over that year and the next, I was slacking off, killing time, and being mean to Kareem. I stayed mostly to myself and didn't ask any questions. As my workload piled up, my motivation decreased. I was using Pathways as a way to just stay as I was. I wasn't thinking about graduation, college, or my academic future as a whole. I don't know when and what clicked for me, but in my senior year, I began to care. I think part of it was seeing all my friends and peers across the city attending their regular schools. Watching them progress, finish strong, and move on to college made me sad. The other part was just boredom. All my friends I was growing up with were growing without me. It made me disappointed in myself. It made me feel like I was going to stay in this spot forever. I thought I was never going to see them again because they would move on with their lives and I would just be a memory to them. And yeah, this would happen either way for a lot of people, but it's a lot harder to maintain a friendship with someone who's got more mature and complex priorities to deal with than graduating high school. The other part was just boredom. I was so bored. I was tired of waking up at the crack of dawn every morning and going to a school I hated and never leaving. I was so sick of the everyday schedule I was stuck in. I was so sick of arguing with my parents and teachers about getting any work done, let alone graduating at all. This became a routine for me and I couldn't deal with it anymore. But whatever the reasons were, I began, little by little, getting chunks of those never-ending packets off my plate. Eventually, I realized I needed a custom work plan to get any significant amount of work done. This is when I realized that my teachers weren't my enemies. Kareem and some others helped me develop a personal plan that allowed me to complete my work in a timely manner and aid me with many personal wants and needs. I was able to complete everything I needed to. When the packets became less and less, I was feeling more and more hopeful. I realized that I could change this dumb routine I found myself in. I didn't have to be left behind by my peers. The light at the end of the tunnel was getting closer, and when I finally got out, I could take a breath of fresh air. What I realized in my senior year at Pathways was that it was all up to me. It wasn't up to me whether or not I attended high school, but finishing it was my own choice. I wanted it for me, and I could get it for me. No one was holding me back except for myself. Not my teachers, parents, friends, but me. All that time I felt like I was stuck and it was all fake. I didn't have to be stuck if I didn't want to, and when it took the first step, everyone around me helped me take the next. But it was up to me to take the first one. And that first step is deciding yourself that you want this. People can want it for you, but you need to want it for you. And as lame and corny as this sounds, if you want something, you can get it. I'm Noah Siegel, and that's my graduation speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Noah. Our final student speaker this evening is Earl Robinson. His teacher, Petona, says that I first met Earl at Ashburn after I inherited him from another teacher. Earl was quiet and seemed pretty cool with staff and other students. I noticed that he sat quiet for hours. I thought this student was on top of his studies, but he fooled me. I had to confront the cool kid. It wasn't easy. He wasn't bothering anyone, but I'm his teacher, and I have to get him on course to graduate. He was so close. He was very perturbed with me. I called his mom, Kendra, who didn't accept anything but his best. During distance learning, Earl exceeded my expectations, and I was so excited, and so much so that we worked together and he began producing assignments in excess all at once. Quickly, Earl completed 2 courses. I'd been begging him to finish. I felt so proud and so honored to be called his teacher. Earl is meant to do great things in life. You did it, Earl. Please welcome Earl Robinson.
Hello. Thank you for allowing me to speak to you all today. It is an honor. My name is Earl, and I'm a Pathways in Education graduate, class of 2020. Like many of us, there were barriers and obstacles we faced on our road to finding Pathways. I struggled greatly with procrastination. I never did my homework, and the few times I did, I never turned it in. I had no motivation to do homework. I didn't find it challenging, and a lot of it felt more like busy work. This obviously came to haunt me later in my school career as I had fallen behind. A counselor at my previous school told me about pathways in education. It soon became clear that the pressure of a regular school was not a thing at Pi. There was pressure, of course, to put my studies first, but along with that pressure came support. It was a school I could work with. There were times where I was less motivated, and there would be days that I'd be more motivated to get more things done than usual. I mentioned support on the days where I lacked motivation. I remember the biggest motivators: a diploma and my mom. My mom wanted to see her son graduate. On the days where that wasn't enough, there were my teachers. Constant calls and checkups to see if I was doing work, but I wasn't even mad because I knew the reason why. And it's just like our parents say, you might not like it now, but you'll be grateful in the future. I don't know where I'd be if I didn't have someone as supportive as my family and the staff at Pi. I really don't. They are a big part as to why I'm giving this speech now, because they kept me on track no matter what, and I'm very grateful for that. Pi was a unique experience, and a journey I enjoyed. It took a lot of dedication and work to get through it, but it was all worth it. I enjoyed the trips and opportunities they gave me that my previous school didn't, and I took advantage of each and every one of those trips. At a certain point, it became almost tradition for old Earl to go on the trip. But the staff there are amazing people, and without their constant pushing and support, I wouldn't be here now. I implore all students to work with their teachers, because believe me, they make it so much easier. Sometimes your relationship with your teachers aren't always what you imagined. They take work, and we have to be members in that work. This is a lesson not just at Pi, but one that I would take with me long after. The life lessons I've learned as a student at Pathways in Education will forever be with me. They taught me how to be more confident. I hardly recognize the Earl I am now compared to when I started, and I like this one better. All the support, my friends, and most importantly my family has given me the confidence to start my future. My dream is to be an animator. There were plenty of times I was scolded or got a Chromebook taken away from me from watching too many video games on YouTube. I am passionate about animation, but I am also curious what is out there for me. I am going to a 2-year college to learn what is in store for this next chapter. To my fellow graduates, what's in store for you? I wish you all the best and keep in touch. Congratulations, class of 2020.
Thank you, Earl, and thank you to all of our student speakers for sharing your special thoughts with us this evening. We will now continue with the virtual awarding of the diplomas.
Nelson Abarca, Yude Abraham, Alanis Aldana, Katia Alvarez, Sydney Anderson, Eleanor Aponte, Zith Lily Arenas, Metzin Armenta, Andrea Arredondo, Christian Arroyo, Adrian Barraza, Cameron Barrett, Priscilla Barron, Samantha Benson, Megan Bilbo, Micah Boykin, Francisco Brito, Nick Brazic, Jareth Bustos, Jasmine Bustos, Kevin Campos, Luvia Carrera, Miria Carrillo, Nathaniel Carrillo, Aaliyah Carter, Jasmine Castaneda, Leslie Castro, Viviana Castruita, Flavio Catalan, Evelyn Solis, Aries Chaidez, Yidum Charles Wiwa, Karen Chavez, Tony Chavez, Matthew Cho, Brian Cifuentes, Ronald Collins, Samantha Cologne, Autumn Connors, Maribel Costin, Christina Cruz, Evelyn Cruz, Marilyn Cruz, Maritza Cruz, Luis Dominguez, Javier Enriquez, Odawa Aaron Cantola, Jordi Estrada, John Felix, Monica Felice, Delta Fennell, Anaya Fountain, Daisy Galicia, Alex Galvez, Crystal Galvez, Jimmy Garcia, Karen Garcia, Marlene Maldonado Garcia, Ivan Garduno, Lorenzo Geronimo, John Giavridis, Raul Gill, Aaron Givens, Ivan Gomez, Giovanna Gonzalez, Gabriela Gonzalez, Giovanni Gonzalez, Jonathan Gonzalez, Delaney Gorski, Sebastian Gudino, Melissa Guerra, Catherine Gutierrez, Justin Herrera, Tiana Holmes, Tralisha Howard, Alden Aisha, Pedro Martinez Jacobo, Dean Johnson, Angel Kugel, Tyranny Lee, Alexis Lopez, Milad Louise, Cullen McDermott, Ireland McDermott, Ulissa Magana, Vincenzo Madil, Eduardo Manzo, Arindira Valencia Manzo, Omar Marks, Araceli Martinez, Bernice Martinez, Giovanna Martinez, Jacqueline Mita, Brenda Medina, Marco Mejia, Amy Mercado, Jacob Mikulek, Daysoni Mills, Shaquelle Mitchell, Christian Montalongo, Colin Moore, Yamaleth Moreno, Selah Mothana, Garin Muhammad, Kiwana Myers, Crystal Naples, Erica Nieto, Shuquan Oliver, Jacobo Ortega, Anastasia Ortiz, Tanya Ortiz, Jose Padilla, Abigail Palacios, Marco Palomar, Jacqueline Pina, Saul Perez, Joel Ponce, Jose Kirias, Javier Ramirez, Naomi Ramirez, Gregorio Rivas, Kiara Riviera, Christian Rodriguez, Giselle Rodriguez, Jonathan Rodriguez, Rena Rodriguez, Daniel Rock Vargas, Isabel Osario Ruiz, Abdullah Sabri, Christopher Sanchez, Everardo Sanchez, Jacqueline Sanchez, Matthew Sanchez, Devontae Sanders, Dylan Sharp, Noah Siegel, Vanessa Silva, Deviana Slaughter, Alexis Sotelo, Chloe Starbuck, Ever Soares, Rodolfo Tapia, Imani Thompson, Nicholas Thurmond, Steve Tito, Anna Torres, Jasmine Trippimer, Giovanni Valdez, Christian Vengas, Marisol Vengas, Damian Vasquez, Karen Vasquez, Juliette DiVittoro, Talonda Watts, Shatrell Wells, Abigail Zagal, Eric Zagal, Gabriela Zaragoza, Gilberto Zarate,
Graduates, please rise. I hereby certify that you have completed all the requirements for high school graduation as outlined by the state of Illinois and Chicago Public Schools. By the power vested in me by the state of Illinois and Chicago Public Schools, I hereby declare you officially graduated. We have one final assignment for each of our graduates. If you're wearing a cap and gown, please take your tassels and move them from the right side to the left side to symbolize your official graduation. And so it is my honor and privilege to conclude this virtual ceremony by presenting to you the Pathways in Education Class of 2020. Congratulations.